All right, I'm live. Sweet. Wow, Roderick. Yeah, you know what? I do have some questions tonight. I guess I'm kind of learning something here from the Book of Enoch, and I think it really applies to what we're seeing happen in the world today in a way that I didn't really understand. Maybe I think I understood somewhat of it, but I'll try to explain what I mean. It's the first verse in Enoch chapter 45. I'll just read it. We'll go over the whole chapter in a little bit, but I'm going to read the verse and then I'm going to ask some questions that I wrote down that I think are more important than I thought they were before I kind of dug into Enoch 45 a little bit. And it makes total sense what I'm learning. So this will be interesting. You guys will, I think, like what, at least maybe you haven't thought about it before. Maybe you have. I don't know. Actually, I'm sure all of you have, but maybe not in this kind of different way that I'm hopefully going to be able to explain. So Enoch 45 verse 1. I'll read it a couple times because the wording is, you got to really listen to what it says here. Okay. I'll tell you the title. This is the R.H. Charles version. And the title that they gave it was The Lot of the Apostates, the New Heaven and the New Earth. Okay, verse 1. And this is the second parable concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of spirits. So this isn't talking. This is what kind of struck me a little bit. It surprised me a little bit. I'll read it again. And this is the second parable concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of spirits. So that's why I think I titled this "Do You Deny Heaven and the Things in It?" Because hold on, let me get something here. I think you guys, or no, okay, let me ask some questions to you guys, and you don't have to answer them. I just want to say, just think about what, the questions I'm asking here. And by the way, welcome everyone. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. I do appreciate you guys giving me the time of day here to share what I've been learning. Kind of like learning in the dark, and then I have to shout it at on the rooftops. That's what I have to do, and you guys all know what I mean. I have to. Okay, here's some questions that I asked tonight. Okay, first of all, where's heaven? Simple question, where's heaven? Where does God live? Where is his temple? Where's his tabernacle? Where's his sanctuary? Where is his throne? Where is the holy city, New Jerusalem? Where is his secret place? Well, I think you guys already know all the answers to all of those questions. One of those questions could have a couple answers. Where's his temple? There's two answers for that are right, I think. But as far as how that question goes with the other ones, Thomas Morgan has got his emoji hand pointing upwards. That's what I would do too. I would point upwards if I was asked where is heaven. I would point at the sky. That's where I would point. And according to the Bible, probably 100 times or more in the Bible, it clearly says that God is in heaven, which is all of these things are literally in the sky. So this is one thing that I've thought about, a lot in the last couple years. The literal reality of God being in the sky. I was watching Robert Breaker did a study recently about heaven and earth, or the spirit, and like the spiritual world and the material physical world. And I agree with most of what he was saying, and that was pretty good. If you guys feel like watching something that you can learn something from, wow, that guy. I don't agree with everything that Robert Breaker says, but I don't think anybody would agree with everything Robert Breaker says. So, but he's a good guy, I think. And I was watching that, or listening to it, I should say, and I noticed some things that maybe he doesn't realize the same way, because of maybe some truth that has been revealed to me anyway, that maybe Robert Breaker isn't hip to, or maybe he doesn't understand it yet. But I always say yet with people like Kent Hovind and people. You can tell that these people are seeking Jesus, and they want to be part of his kingdom. And what I want to note to anybody that, a lot of people rip on Kent Hovind because he has a globe and he sticks to that so strongly. Well, guys, that's why we're here, okay? We're here to get Kent Hovind off of his globe, and not to rip on him for sticking to something that he's believed his whole life. You got to understand that. And I think a lot of you do understand that, but there's a lot of you out there that are rude and horrible examples of like someone trying to minister to someone the truth, or show them the truth. You don't do it by attacking people and calling them shills or whatever. There's much, because here's the thing: truth doesn't need your help. It just needs a mouth to be spoken. Okay, so enough with that part of the conversation. But I do see a lot of people that don't understand why they see the truth, and some of them are they misuse the eyes that they've been given. And I think you guys probably know a lot of what I'm talking about. They don't understand why they see the truth, so they're not really trying to make sure that everyone around them knows it, or maybe they are, but they might do it in a harsh way or whatever. You don't need to. Now, if we're talking about some things, be real. I mean, don't be fake, but you don't have to be putting people down for their beliefs, basically. And the main reason why is every single one of us all believed in Kent's globe, okay? Some of us have come out of that. It doesn't make us better. It makes it more urgent. Once you see the truth and you know that what the lie is that's happening, then you understand that it needs to be known. It has to be known. So back to where is heaven, where is God? When I ask where is his temple, well, there's kind of two answers for that, because don't you guys know that you yourselves are the temple of God? So there's that. But there's also a temple in heaven. Revelation, the book of Revelation, I think I might have that wrong. Hold on a minute. In the book of Revelation, in the King James Version, sorry, I had to reset something. There's 55 times that it mentions the word heaven. And every single one of those 55 times, do you know where it was? It was up in the sky. And I know that everyone already knows that. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be, what's the word, redundant? I'm trying to be, because I think it's so important. So let's go back to Enoch. I'm going to get you guys over to my desktop so you guys can study this with me. I really think that this is very interesting, the way that it's worded. Let's see, how do I get you guys over there? There we go. You guys can see that now? I think so. Let me just double check. Yes, it looks like you can see that. Okay. Welcome, by the way, again, everybody. Glad you guys are here. Okay, I'm just going to read this chapter. It's not that long. I'm just going to read this chapter, and then we're just going to study through it a little bit and look at some other things. Okay, so this is, again, it's the second parable. It says, the lot of the apostates, the new heaven and the new earth. Verse 1. And this is the second parable concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of spirits. And into heaven they shall not ascend, and on earth they shall not come. Such shall be the lot of the sinners, who have denied the name of the Lord of spirits, who are thus preserved for the day of suffering and tribulation. On that day mine elect one shall sit on the throne of glory, and shall try their works, and their places of rest shall be innumerable. And their souls shall grow strong within them when they see mine elect ones, and those who have called upon my glorious name. Then I will cause mine elect one to dwell among them, and I will transform the heaven, and make it an eternal blessing and light. And I will transform the earth, and make it a blessing. And I will cause mine elect ones to dwell upon it. But the sinners and evildoers shall not set foot thereon. For I have provided and satisfied with peace my righteous ones, and have caused them to dwell before me. But for the sinners there is judgment impending with me, so that I shall destroy them from the face of the earth. That's some serious stuff, you guys. And look where it starts. Now here's what I want to point out. This is what kind of, I don't know what the right word is. I didn't comprehend this in this way before, about simply the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of spirits. The dwelling, the name of the dwelling. What's the dwelling? We all know what it is. It's heaven. Right? Heaven. So that's why I titled this, Do You Deny Heaven? Because I was thinking about the Big Bang and things like this. Just think about this once. Would anyone believe in, because I've heard people say that they believe that God, the Big Bang's true, and that's how God created the earth or whatever. And first of all, I disagree with that, because we have a 6-day account of how God created the earth. But nevertheless, some of them still stick to that. Well, that's the way science explains it, so that's what it is. And I'm like, well, have some faith. Have some faith in how this happens. Oh, Thomas Morgan, yes. Thomas Morgan says, destroy, ? Jesus, ? This is because, if I'm right, I think what you're saying is verse, where was that? 5. It says, I will transform, verse 4. Then I will cause mine elect one to dwell among them, and I will transform the heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light. And I will transform the earth and make it a blessing. And I'm guessing that Thomas is saying, well, what about dragon? What about the war in heaven? And the sky rolling up like a scroll? That's destruction. Thomas, that's destruction. He says, Jesus said in John that the thief cometh to destroy. Exactly. The dragon. But remember in Luke, so there is destruction that comes, and it's manifested by a dragon, but who is actually doing it? I mean, it's ordained by God. It was declared by God. So I wouldn't consider it destroying. I would consider it creating a new heaven and a new earth. Now, we're going to get into that because it's really cool what I'm realizing, but let's go back to this right here. Concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones. Okay, so it's not saying that you're denying the holy ones or you're denying the Lord. It's that you're denying the name of the dwelling of the holy ones. And so anything that lives in heaven, we're denying the place they live. Not that's what this chapter is talking about. And so, of course, into heaven they shall not ascend, because they don't even believe that's where God is. They don't even believe in God, right? So if someone's believing in a Big Bang, you have to consider this. Would it be correct to the science community if I said that the Big Bang, if that was the way that the Earth was created, that happened in the sky, Or did that happen on the earth? It happened in the sky, obviously, right? In space. So just think about that. In order to believe the Big Bang, you already have to have a belief. You already have to believe that there's no God in heaven. So you're denying the name of the dwelling of God, right? So this is interesting to me. Now, let's bring into the subject biblical cosmology, which has been a subject of debate across the whole world for 5 years. So we lived our whole lives. Just think, I want to put it into perspective. We lived our whole lives. I'm 43. I lived 37 or 38 years of my life without considering any of these cosmology things. It just was what it was. It didn't really cross my mind. I don't really know how to explain how I didn't think about something. Do you know what I mean? The only other thing I've said to myself is, what did I have going through my head for 38 years? Did I even have a thought? Seems like I didn't even have a thought, because I didn't think about any of this stuff. So, but then when people started talking about it, and it became a subject of interest and a subject of wow, like just about every emotion comes with that one, doesn't it? But this subject, I think, is right here in this chapter in 45. Maybe it's like kind of quietly there, but let's see, where was I gonna go here? Okay, here we go. Verse 4. It was those same verses that Thomas, or that I was reading for Thomas. Let's see. Then I will cause mine elect one to dwell among them, and I will transform the heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light. Let me see if I can put something on the screen that comes to mind. This is just me, but what comes to mind, I have to find it because I didn't really plan this part, but I just want to share with you guys what's going through my head when I'm reading some of these things. And where is it? Right here. Okay, this is something that I didn't know about. I didn't know about that until Flat Earth. Do you guys know what that is? Let me make it bigger. Whoops. Okay. That is star trails. That's the sky. Okay? I didn't know that. And I do now. I understand that. Those are angels. And they're flying around that thing in the middle. And that thing in the middle is where God's throne is. That's the kingdom of heaven right there on your screen. I did not know that my whole life. I didn't know that. I thought it was just some distant suns or whatever they said. I didn't really care. It was just whatever they said. Whatever I was taught. But that's not what it is, you guys. That is the kingdom of heaven right there on your screen. I'm making it bigger so you can see it better. This wasn't filmed this way or photographed till 1931. So that there interests me. When I look at that, I see a new heaven. I did not know that was there above my head. And today I do. So that's an example. Maybe it doesn't apply, maybe it does, but for me it does. Personally, for me it does. To me, I was like, wow. And this has been like a realization that's been happening for a couple of years. I'm like, every time I'm kind of learning more, it seems like those stars come right into what I'm learning. They get in the way of something I'm learning, and they get right in it. Let me just show you, or I'll just remind you of Enoch 71. Enoch, his spirit was translated up to the heavens, and he learned all the secrets of righteousness. And he said that there was a throne there. There was a crystal house that was girt with fire going around it was girt with fire, and there was a throne there, and all the holy angels were going in and out of that house. And then they were 1,000 times 1,000 and 10,000 times 10,000 angels were encircling that house. Now, that's what's on that image of those star trails. So I believe Enoch. I entirely believe that those are angels and that they are flying around. They're on the path of the angels in the firmament, and they're flying around that house. And I know what else they're doing. I bet you they're singing too, but maybe we can't hear them. But they're angels. So for me, when I read, and I will transform the heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light, I think I understand that now. It is. That's the kingdom of heaven. Mountain with a View says, I'm 54 and I've been aware for about 6 years. We've all been cheated. Amen. And you know what? We might not even be calling it, or it might not be actually being cheated, but rather, cheated, but we've been born into being cheated. Do you know what I mean? We've been born into this time of deception where, it even says it right up here at the top, the lot of the apostates. Apostate, I just want to look that up real quick, just so we can look at the definition. I think it says a person who renounces a religious or political belief or principle, abandoning a religious or political belief or principle. So if we have a belief, and apostasy would be abandonment of that belief. So we were born in apostasy. So the kind of interesting thing to understand about that is that we're sinners, right? We're the wages of sin is death, so we're all gonna die, okay? But let's go to John chapter 3, because there's a solution to this that only Jesus can solve. He can do this. Watch. First of all, I believe that I've been, in the last 5 years, that I've been born again. And I mean born again in the way that Jesus used it. And I'll tell you why. In verse 3 here, it says, Jesus answered and said unto him, that was unto Nicodemus, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Well, I'm just showing you right here, I believe this is the kingdom of God, and I am seeing it, and I understand that it's the kingdom of God. So maybe I'm born again. I don't know. I'm not trying to argue whether I'm born again like I would know or you would know. What I'm saying is I'm making a point that Jesus said he cannot see the kingdom of God except a man be born again. That's interesting to me. And then actually, look at what he says. He's talking to Nicodemus, I don't know exactly how he's trying to, what he's trying to explain. But Nicodemus is confused about it, obviously. But in verse 11, okay, you know what? Let me preface this. In Jude and in the book of Enoch, it says he cometh with 10,000s of his holy ones, or his saints. Now, look what it says here. So he comes with his saints, right? And then actually in Enoch right here, it said, Then will I cause mine elect one to dwell among them. Okay, the elect one, that's Jesus. It says he will cause him to dwell among them. And then he will transform the heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light. You guys, he's here right now. With us. With us. He's dwelling among us. Maybe not for our eyes to see, or maybe not for, our hands to touch or something like that. But that'll come shortly. Where was I back? Or John 3. Okay, so he says this. He says, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, we speak that we do know, and testify that we have seen, and ye receive not our witness. Does that sound familiar to you guys? It just rings in my ears. Who's this we? Who's we? Because Jesus said, I say unto thee, we speak that we do know. You guys know that there's 144,000, I think it's 144,000 they're with him, and they've been with him since the foundation of the world, and they're an army. Actually, they're an army of kings and priests, and they minister to the world with him. Those who are with him. And John sees them up on Mount Zion in Revelation 14. Ezra sees them. I don't remember which chapter in 2nd Esdras. And he sees them getting crowns and palms. And Jesus was standing there with them. I think that's the same thing John saw in Revelation 14. But there's people with him. And they do something for him, or whatever you want to call it, with him. But so that's interesting when he says we speak that we do know. So he's saying we speak that we do know, something we know, and testify that we have seen. So we're witness to something, guys. This is what Jesus is saying to Nicodemus. And then he says, and ye receive not our witness. What's he talking about? I hope some of you guys understand what I'm saying here. Because I have to be careful. I can't say it a certain way, or people think that you're some kind of, I've been called so many different things. Like I have a Messiah complex or something like that. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what's in the scriptures. There's an army, and nobody knows about who these people are, do they? And actually, I can't remember where, but in 2nd Esdras it says that, let me find that. I gotta find it because it's interesting. It says that nobody can see him or those who are with him until his day. Where was that? Whoa, I just turned right to it. Whoa, that was weird. Just as no one, I'm reading it right where I turned in 2nd Ezra. I just opened the book and here it was. He said to me, this is, I don't even know what chapter. Verse 52 of, it's chapter 13. That's why it's fresh in my mind, because I just did a video about chapter 13. That was weird, though. I turned right to it, and my eyes went right to it. Just as no one can explore or know what is in the depths of the sea, so no one on earth can see my Son or those who are with him, except in the time of his day. Those are the people I'm talking about, the ones that are with him, that no one can see until his day, okay? Maybe we don't see them, but we know they're there. Yes, Rachel G., that's what I think it is. I think it's the 144,000 that are mentioned that are sealed with the seal of the living God in Revelation 7. That's who I think that those who are with him are, and his army of saints. So, and don't ask me to explain it because I don't understand it, but they were with him from the beginning. They were there at the foundation of the world somehow. And I've thought about this before. You guys can tell me what you think. But if, let's say someone is alive today and then they die die the earthly body death, whatever you want to call it, they die. And if he gives them eternal life, what does that mean? Because if you have eternal life, maybe you were with him from at the beginning. Maybe you just didn't know it. Do you know what I'm saying? If it's eternal, try to picture an existence without time. Everything would be all at once. Or if you could even say that. I don't think we can understand that. But do you get what I'm saying? That if they have eternal life, it doesn't matter when they get it. They were there the whole time then. If they I don't know. Maybe I'm out there in left field, but let's see here. Okay, so then he says, if I have told, this is in John 3, verse 12, if I have told you earthly things, and ye believe not, How shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things? So I mean, and I think that's true, because the things I comprehend about the heavens, I still don't comprehend it. It's all a mystery to me. It's a mystery to me what the spiritual world in the sky really is, the celestial realm. We can clearly see it with our eyes at night. That's about all I know about it as far as what I'm seeing. Stars, they're points of light, but I believe they're angels, but I can't see really that they're angels, other than that I see what it says in the scriptures, that they, like in Enoch 71, like I was saying, they encircle that house. So there's my, I don't know. Let's go back to Enoch, though. There's some more interesting stuff here. So in verse 5, he says, "And I will transform the earth and make it a blessing." You guys ever heard of flat earth before? Is that a blessing? It's a curse and a blessing, right? No, it's a blessing. But do you guys get where I'm going there? Just like the promised land, just like the same place that Abraham was in search of. He was sojourning here in this world, and he was in search of the world that was made by God, that had foundations, because God made a world with foundations. You know? And that's what Abraham had faith, stepping out to go to that place. And he had no idea what he was in search of. But he knew what the scriptures said, right? There's a different understanding. If you guys didn't get a chance, I uploaded a video to my channel called 5 Years of Learning the Truth, or something like that. And I go over in that video, I tried to do it as organized as I could, and go over kind of some of these new understandings that I have, because a lot of people look at a truth seeker, a flat earther, whatever you want to say. A lot of people look at us as crazy. But I know that if a person, that video I put out was an hour long, or 57 minutes long. If a person took the time to go to try to comprehend or understand all the details of things that I've learned that I put in the video, they would understand that it's not crazy at all. It's actually much more realistic, and actually it's true, and the scriptures back it up. There is a world that this world does not see, and it is a blessing. And you guys have heard of the promised land. Let me go one other thing, since I got 2nd Esdras right here. One other thing just came to mind in chapter 13 also. I'll have to find it here. But this land was hidden throughout time, and it would be revealed and openly displayed at the end. Did you know that? This land. Prophecy matters, guys. When a person doesn't believe maybe the flat earth, okay? Do you think it would help them believe it? Like a Christian, I'm saying. Someone that believes what it says in the Bible. They believe God. Do you think it would help them to believe biblical cosmology if they knew it was clearly prophesied that it would be revealed? That would really make a difference to someone who believes the Bible. So that's kind of maybe why I'm trying to point this out, that this promised land was prophesied to be revealed to these elect at the end. And it even, look what it says in the next verse. This is, okay, so he's going to transform the earth. It says, I will transform the earth and make it a blessing. Then look what it says. And I will cause mine elect ones to dwell upon it. Okay, who in the chat, because I usually don't try to answer something in the chat, or to have people try to answer something in the chat, but I want to, because I'm curious. How would I question it? That would be a yes or no question. Or maybe if you're in the chat, just say that you did. If you used to live on sphere Earth, and in the last 5 years you've actually quite literally moved to a different earth. You didn't have to go anywhere, but you just had to, you lived there now. For me, I live in a different world than I lived in 5 years ago. And I know that. And I didn't cause myself to do it. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. God did that. And actually we can think we can find verses that say that. He says in Ezekiel, let's see if we can find it. 37, I think. I think this is the one with the dead bones, the valley of bones. Whoops, I didn't do that right. I really can't do much of anything good when I'm talking. I cannot talk and do anything at the same time. Whoops. That's what I've learned. I can't even type and talk at the same time. Okay, let's look at this. This is where God says he's going to do it. Where is it? Actually, God made Ezekiel prophesy to these bones. Oh, here we are. Let's see here. Verse 12. Or let's just, the vision explained, it's called, verse 11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, Our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves, and cause you to come up out of your graves, and bring you into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live. And I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, the Lord, have spoken it and performed it. You guys, he's performed it. And I know a lot of people don't realize this, and a lot of Christians would probably want to argue with me right now, which is sad. Rather than realizing that a prophecy from God himself has come to pass before our very eyes. To me, it's amazing, and it's awesome, and I can't even believe that we can comprehend this. He's doing this miracle right now. Right now. I'll read that again. And shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live. And I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I am the Lord, have spoken it and performed it, saith the Lord. You guys get that? We do know that he did speak it and performed it. So what now? You know? Wow. I hope that you guys are understanding this the way I am. But, okay, so what is the importance of God's heaven then? Or why do these people, it says they won't ascend into heaven, and such shall be the lot of the sinners who have denied the name of the Lord of Spirits. So they deny the name of God, or they deny God, and they deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and God. Think about that. Let me think of where that was in Ezekiel. I think it was in chapter 8 or 9. I better check. Talking about how God has left his throne, or he's, that they would, oh wait, maybe that's in Isaiah. Oh no, right here we are. Okay. This is why I'm talking about Starlink satellites all the time, and all the things that are happening in the sky that I see up there with my own eyes, and then all the space agencies say they're putting there. So let's just take a little break from the scriptures. We'll come right back, and I want to play a video for you guys. A lot of you probably don't even know that this is going on, but let me ask you a question. Do you guys think that SpaceX believes that God sits in his throne in the sky? This company, they're working on this right now. Tell me what you guys think of this.
Stage route is go for flight.
Okay, did you guys see what it said there? Let me go back and find it where it said that. Together, these will enable landing where no runways exist, including the moon, Mars, and beyond. Love you too, Zulu One. Good to see you. Thank you for. Hey, Beck from Oz is in here, and Walsworth, bunch of people. Shalom, girl. I saw something you wrote. May 14th, 1948, Israel became a nation. To me, and I'm not trying to say anything about anything other than, to me, that's completely meaningless. It's not that I don't believe that. I think that's true that they became a nation, but I think it's totally insignificant because I see a different Israel than that one. I don't think that one. I see an Israel as being people, only people. I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm only pointing out that people talk about Jerusalem. Here's an example. People say when, it says, where's that in Zechariah? Maybe it says when you see, or maybe that's in Matthew. I don't remember where it is, but where it says when you see Jerusalem encompassed with armies. That's on your screen right now, guys. That's Jerusalem encompassed with armies. They're lining up to attack Jerusalem, because this is New Jerusalem that we're gonna be, that is in interest to us. And actually, that is on this this subject. Let me go back to the desktop. I want to show you something. This is pretty cool. God says, this is Ezekiel 8. Ezekiel gets taken up to New Jerusalem, guys. Let's just read this. We're gonna read verses 1 through 6. So we gotta understand that that Ezekiel here is taken up into the sky. And that's important. He's taken up into the sky. Okay, verse 1. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month of the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Lord there, or God, fell there upon me. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward fire, and from his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber. And he put forth the form of an hand, and took me by a lock of mine head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven. Let's pay attention to the details here, okay, guys? I want to study this out. I want you guys to understand this the way I do, okay? So, a lock of his head, that would be his hair. So, they'd have to lift me up a different way because I'm like bald. So, no, I'm just kidding. I always like to make a joke about that, though. But he's lifted up by his hair, guys. Right up into the sky. And he says he went between heaven and earth. Well, what's between heaven and earth? Isn't that the firmament? The firmament of heaven. God made the firmament to divide the waters above from the waters. Like, this is a divider between heaven and earth. So he went there. It says, the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the visions let me start that over. And brought me in the visions of God to Jerusalem. Okay, so he's up in the sky. That's where Jerusalem is, because that's what he said. To the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north. There's a real place, guys. A real place. I'm not saying our eyes can see it the way that we would expect, but there's a real place called Jerusalem, New Jerusalem, and it is up in the sky. And I think that this is also the dwelling place of the Lord of Spirits. So remember what it said in the book of Enoch concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of Spirits. So they would be denying heaven, or they would be denying the temple of God, the New Jerusalem. They'd be denying his throne. They'd be denying his tabernacle. They'd be denying the holy city. They would be denying his sanctuary, the dwelling the dwelling, okay? Like that's that dwelling. I don't know how to be clear about it, I guess. But let's go back to Ezekiel 8 and keep reading. So he's lifted him up between the earth and heaven, brought me in the visions of God to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoketh to jealousy. And behold, the glory of the God of Israel was there, according to the visions that I saw in the plain. Oh, look at that. Ezekiel lives on flat earth too. He saw it in the plain. I'm just kidding. Okay. Then he said unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now the way toward the north. So I lifted up mine eyes the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. Do you guys get the idea, or get what I'm thinking this image of jealousy is? That's in the entry. Remember, he's up in the sky, and there's a Jerusalem there, which is a temple, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's keep going. And behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. He said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary? So he's saying that the house of Israel thinks he went far off from his sanctuary. But he clearly didn't, right? So then he's shown other things. He's shown a lot of things. I don't want to get into everything now. But he was shown this image of jealousy that is obviously making even the house of Israel believe that he went far from his sanctuary. But he didn't, guys. That's what I'm trying to say is that, yeah. Okay, so that was the one thing. And now the other one was, maybe I'm going to get it up on the screen so that we can, so that we can read it together. We're going to learn about this, the land of his holy ones, the promised land. This is really cool. Let's see. Let's go to Bible Gateway. Looks like I didn't click it right. I clicked it wrong. Okay. So this is a vision he had, and it's really cool. I love it. But so there's a place called Mount Zion in this vision, and it's up in heaven. It's up where the clouds are. It's in heaven. But Ezra couldn't tell yet till it was interpreted for him. And I think that's where we want to go, is the interpretation. He saw Jesus flying with the clouds of heaven, and he carved out a mountain. And Ezra was looking to see where he carved it from, like what region it was, and he couldn't tell. And then so he was like confused. He asked the Lord, please interpret this. Tell me what this is, Tell me what's going on. And I got to find it here. Oh, okay, right here. Now this, just keep in mind what has been a subject of debate in the world that was never really talked about much in our lifetime anyway, until about 5 years ago. Flat Earth, guys. That's what okay, keep that in mind here. Okay, it says in verse 35, but he will take his stand on the summit of Mount Zion. And I want to put that so it's familiar with for everyone, that this is just, look at where, okay, Mount Zion, he stood on Mount Zion in Revelation 14 with 144,000 having his Father's name written in their foreheads. Okay, so I think that's what this is, what we're talking about here. He will take his stand on the summit of Mount Zion. So that's what this is here. Now listen to this. Like, I really want people to understand this the way I do, because it's amazing. One of the coolest things I've ever learned, and that I am able to, it's so special. Okay. Verse 36 says, Zion will come and will appear to all. built and ready, as you saw the mountain carved without hands. Okay, hold on a minute. That's not the right part. Let's see here. It might take me a minute to find it, but it's worth it here. Okay, let's go a little higher here, maybe. Maybe this just is. Maybe it's just a version. Let me look in my. Let me see what this says. Okay, verse 12 says, "After this I saw the same man come down from the mountain to call himself another multitude that was peaceable." That's not the part I'm looking for, but I just figured I'd read it because it was part of this. Deliver his creation. But he shall stand on the top of Mount Zion. And okay, this is just a different version of verse 36. "And Zion shall come and be made manifest to all people, prepared and built." So there was just a different version. This says Zion will come and appear to all. That one says it will be manifested to all people. So that's everyone in the world is going to know about Zion. It's going to be manifested to them, prepared and built. Flat Earth, guys. So let's go back to the book of Enoch. Actually, you know what? Let me show you one other thing here. Where was that? Okay, actually, I'm not sure which chapter. If I look in my book, I'll be able to find the chapter, and then I'll be able to go there. Because I know like where it is on the page and everything. I have like that's how my memory works. Like with books, it's on a certain part of the page, and then that's how I know where it is. Not like with a number. Okay, let's see here. Eternal dwelling, places I prepared for Israel. I don't remember which chapter it is even. When Ezra sees them on that mountain. Oh, here we go. 2nd Esdras chapter 5. I didn't know it was chapter 5. Okay, let's look at this. We're just going to read this chapter. This is awesome. 2nd Esdras. This was a book that was in the 1611 King James Bible, and it was removed out of there. And I don't know why. I like this book. This book is amazing. Actually, I do know why. I think it was supposed to remain hidden until the end when these things would be happening. But chapter 5. "But about the signs, look, the days will come when those who live on earth will be seized with great terror." Now look at this, you guys. "The way of truth will be hidden, and the land will be barren and devoid of faith." Apostate, guys. "Injustice will be multiplied beyond what you yourself see and beyond what you have heard of formerly. The land that you now see holding sway will have no one left to walk upon it, and people will see it desolate." I hope you guys understand what's happening here. I don't really know how to put it. I'm terrible with my vocabulary, trying to explain things. I just am. But I don't know if that would help. This is something that the Spirit of truth can show you, I think, not me. So keep your ears to him. He'll show you things, amazing things. "The land that you now see holding sway will have no one left to walk upon it, and people will see it desolate. But if the Most High grants that you live, you will see it thrown into confusion after the 3rd period of time. The sun will suddenly start shining by night and the moon by day. Blood will drip from wood and stones will speak out. Peoples will be troubled, natural courses will be changed. A person no one on earth expected will come to power, and birds will migrate together. The sea of Sodom will cast up fish. It will utter sounds in a voice that many don't know, but all will hear its voice. chasms will open up in many places, and fire will be shot forth frequently. Sounds like volcanoes, doesn't it? Wild beasts will roam beyond their territory, and women will give birth to monsters. Salt waters will be found in sources of fresh water. Friends everywhere will begin to fight each other. Reason will be hidden, and intelligence will go into hiding. Many will look for it, but they won't find it, and injustice and lust will be multiplied on the earth. One country will ask its neighbor, "Has justice passed through you, doing what is right?" And the answer will be no. At that time, people will hope, but not get what they hoped for. They will labor, but they will make no progress. I am permitted to tell you these signs, and if you pray again and continue to weep as you are now doing and fast for 7 days, you will again hear greater things than these. Let's see here. So this is an angel, or angel of the Lord tells him to fast for 7 days in this field, I think. Was it a field? Anyway, he tells him to fast for 7 days. And so he does, and we're going to skip down to there, verse 20. I didn't eat food for 7 days, wailing and weeping as the angel Uriel, had commanded me. After 7 days, my deepest thoughts were again very troubling to me. Then I recovered my wits, and I began to speak words before the Most High. Let me just see if this probably isn't where I need to go here. Wow, that's a long chapter. Okay, let's look at... Actually, I think we're good with 2nd Esdras. So, back to the book of Enoch, chapter 45, which is what we're kind of focusing on here. So this land, guys, is the earth. Oh, I gotta go to Isaiah 40. I know you guys know this verse because I say it all the time, but this is part of this. Verses 4 and 5 in Isaiah 40. The glory of the Lord shall be revealed. And listen to this. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low. And the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. So he's going to basically make the ground flat. He's going to lift up all the valleys, which the valleys and the mountains and the hills, that is the shape of the earth, literally, guys. That's the only way that the earth has any kind of shape to it, is from mountains and valleys and hills and these kind of features. Okay, so it says every valley shall be exalted. That means lifted up, and every mountain and hill shall be made low. So scrape off all the mountains, fill in all the valleys. What do you got left? You have a flat ground, and it says the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. This is happening right now, guys. If I go out my driveway, if I drive 10 miles, I'm going to see a mountain or a hill or a valley. So it hasn't physically happened, right? Just think about what this is saying, though. This is saying that all flesh shall see it together. So all flesh shall see it together. I don't think that means they're all going to believe it. Shalom Girl says, which Bible is safe? Any Bible, I think. People talk about Bible changes and the Mandela effect and things like this, and I'm not going to disagree or agree, or I don't know, but I'll tell you that the things that get changed don't seem to be a really big deal to me. If it says, and maybe I'm wrong, but if it says the lion lays down with the lamb, or I think that's more probably just someone translating it different or something like that, and I really don't think that it's not lifting a shout up against God. So I think that is the focus of these end times, is that the people are in love with this Babylon, and that's where they want that's what they believe in. And Babylon's sins they've reached up to heaven. And God is not going to show pity because he's given great warning through his prophets. And he even said, let's go back to Ezekiel. Let's go back one chapter to Ezekiel 7. And I think, I might be exaggerating, but I think 8 times or 7 times probably in this chapter, he says that he will not have any pity. That they'll cry and let me just find it. Where does it say it here? The first one is, that's Ezekiel 37. I thought we were Ezekiel 8. How do we do, what? What in the world? Maybe I have to click it again or something? Have you guys ever seen it do that before? Let's try to refresh. That was weird. I don't want Ezekiel 37. Let's try Ezekiel 8. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. This is not, is it? Oh yeah, okay. We wanted 7. I'm sorry guys, I got confused there and then I lost where I was. Okay, this is where, like, these abominations and detestable things that we put in Jerusalem. Well, if Jerusalem is where I'm saying it is tonight, New Jerusalem, we have read several scriptures here that show us that it's up in the sky. So I believe it's up in the sky. But if men are putting abominations and detestable things in the midst of Jerusalem, what does that actually mean? What would that mean in 2021? That would mean satellites, space station, anything in the sky. God considers it to be an abomination. Watch this. Let's just read a few of these. I'll just start at verse 1. We got time. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord God unto the land of Israel, An end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. What would that mean, guys? If he was going to return those abominations from being in the midst of Jerusalem, where would they be going? They'd be coming from the sky, right? You know, in Revelation, when there's a great plague of hail, just think about that. Those are the abominations and detestable things being recompensed. That's what that is. Isaac in Yeshua says airplanes, etc. ? And yes, I don't know, but I have thought about this. I think that the earth has air. Like if you're a place with air, I think you're on the earth. Even if you're flying in the firmament of heaven, but there's air, I think that you're on the earth or in the earth. I think the problem starts when we start trying to go out of the air. Because the way, and there's a reason why I say that, and it's mostly because of Enoch chapter 18. If you want to check that out, Enoch's shown the treasuries of the winds. And he kind of says that the whole creation, that God furnished it with those 4 winds. So anything where the wind would be is where the creation is, of earth, where the earth is. Heaven is not a place with air. Heaven is not a place that we understand, really. And it's celestial in nature. Remember when Jesus was raised from the dead, and he came back, and people saw him, and he talked with people, he ate food, he had a body, and he could just appear somewhere. He could also appear to people that he knew and be a person, but they didn't recognize who it was. There's a lot of things about his resurrected body, his raised from the dead body. It's a real body, guys. One that you could probably touch. Like, I'm not trying to like be Thomas or something. I'm just saying Because Thomas said he didn't believe it until he touched it, put his hand in the wound. He wouldn't believe it. Well, Jesus said, right after that, Jesus said, blessed is he who believes without seeing. So I think we get hints of what's in the heavens, and we get scriptures that tell us what's in the heavens, but we might not necessarily be able to see it, such as New Jerusalem, or maybe some of the angels, or some of the things in heaven. I think we can see the angels at night. I think that's what the stars are. So I think we're seeing the angels, we're seeing the throne of God, but I don't know what they actually look like. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, let me just continue this really quick. I just wanted to say that he's not going to have pity. He is, because of all these prophets. Here's verse 9, I think is maybe the first time he says it in this chapter. I will recompense thee for all thine abominations. Verse 9, and mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways, and thine abominations that are in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord that smiteth. Okay, he's going to smite. I'm just skimming it because it says it so much. I know Thomas Morgan knows this chapter good. This chapter's like heavy. Look at it. This is where a lot of people don't understand that it's prophesied by God, or actually Ezekiel, I guess, that men would be climbing into heaven and defiling it with all these abominations at the end, and God would definitely not have. He would not have pity on these people. They actually have. Whoops! I think we got a comment that was deleted. Maybe. Was that deleted or not? I don't know why. Mount with a view. I think maybe. I don't know if anyone tried to do that. I think that might have been a mistake. Okay, maybe it was Parkway. Sorry about that, Mountain with a View. No, we weren't trying. I don't think. This chapter, though, let me read these verses and it'll explain. This is verse 20. As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty, but they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from them, and I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey. Let me show you what I think that's talking about. He's going to give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey. Daniel 7 might talk about that. There was a beast that Daniel saw, and it was given dominion of the heavens, a host of heaven. Where is it? Verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. And we know what dominion this is. I say it's the dominion of the host of heaven, and the reason why I say that is because it says that in here. I don't know if it says the word dominion again. I think it does, but in verse 18, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. And then the Son of Man comes, and he's given this dominion is his. Okay, so it was given to this beast, and then it'll be taken away from the beast by the Son of Man. Where's this? Okay, right here, verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. That's what this is talking about right here. And I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. So then I was like, where's God's secret place? And so I looked that up, and it was in Psalm. It was very clear where it is. Whoops. Psalm 18 is couldn't be any clearer. We'll start, I think, verse 8 or 9. Verse 9, it says, he bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly, yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place. Well, there it is. So think about this too. I don't think we comprehend everything that's in the sky, and I think that's because it's shrouded in darkness. It has a veil of darkness over it. We can't see it. We can't know all those things. I think we can learn them by the Holy Spirit, but I don't think we know them right now anyway. But it says he made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. So that's one of the things that God does, I guess, is he rides on a cherub and flies on the wings of the wind. So yeah, he thundered in the heavens. The highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. So, this is back here again. So this land, guys, it says that he will transform the earth and make it a blessing, and I will cause mine elect ones to dwell upon it. But the sinners and evildoers shall not set foot thereon. And why? Because they deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of spirits. It says, for I have provided and satisfied with peace my righteous ones, and have caused them to dwell before me. Oh yeah, let's go to Revelation 3. Whoops, not 13. So it says a good thing in here. Verse 12, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. And I will write upon him my new name. What if I was to say, humbly, if I can, that I see this kingdom, I see this city with my eyes, and that's where I live right now. But I'm still living in the world that I was born in. Because remember, we were in 2nd Ezra's chapter 13, it said he carved out a mountain and flew up onto it. Well, it says he carved it out without hands. You know, a lot of people say that New Jerusalem, it's not built with bricks, you know. John saw it and described it. Maybe we should look at that. Let's look at that. Is that in Revelation 20? I think it's in Revelation 20. No, maybe it's 19. No, 21, I guess. Okay, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. You guys know what that's talking about, that sea? That's talking about the dark waters. The waters above. There's no more waters above. And I know that because that's the whole story of Babylon falling. Babylon, her sins have reached up to heaven, and God is remembering her iniquities, and darkness, that's what everybody will see in the earth when the sun goes dark and the moon doesn't give its light and the stars fall from the sky. It's going to be darkness. And what's interesting too is Enoch saw a vision of the world being destroyed, and it fell into a deep abyss of darkness. And people were on it, guys. That's what happens at the end days. Darkness. So it says, I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Prepared as a bride. Let me read another verse to you out of 2nd Ezra chapter 7. Because when I get reminded of a verse, I'm just going to read it. So in 2nd Ezra chapter 7. Oh, maybe that was actually the chapter I was looking for earlier. 2nd Ezra 5. Sorry, I'm having trouble with this. My 2nd Ezra's, I printed it out a while ago, just on paper, and I put it in like one of those school notebooks, so it takes a minute to flip through to find the chapters. I should have printed it a little better. Okay, here we are. That's interesting. Okay, verse 26. So what I just read in Revelation, though, was, it said, I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 26 says, Look, the time is coming when the signs appear that I told you about in advance, and the city will appear, appearing as a bride. And the land that is now hidden will be openly displayed. Flat earth. Like, I didn't write these books, and I didn't start flat earth. So this is simply an observation that I'm making. You can't blame this on me, right? Okay, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. So this is kind of what we were reading about here. It says in Enoch 45, verse 6, excuse me, For I have provided and satisfied with peace my righteous one, and have caused them to dwell before me. That's what this is talking about right here. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and be their God. I like this verse too, verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. So I'll probably end this live stream here. That's enough studying for me for one night. But what I would end it with is this. I want you and me to not be those former things that are passing away. You don't have to be. We had Daniel 7 open. Look what it said here. It said, verse 26, But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and destroy it unto the end. And it actually says that his dominion is an everlasting dominion that has no end. So all those things fading away, let them fade away. There's a new heaven and a new earth, and I believe that we can even see it. And I believe that we can see it when we believe what is written about it. That's my take. So I thank you guys all for coming. Yeah, look what it says here. Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. And it says it somewhere else up higher too. Let me find this. Where was it? Yeah, right here, 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So, one other thing. Hold on. Give me a minute. I got an idea. I'm gonna do. I've got a video to play if it'll play. For just because of the days we live in, you know, with all the mask wearing and all that fun stuff. Where is it? Oops. Like I said, this stuff takes me a while in the background because I can't do two things at once. I'm just slow like that. Okay, let's find this. Sorry, give me a second. Oh, the mask thing, guys. It's horrible. Okay, this one right here. Ask yourself this question, guys. Alright, love you all, and I will see you next time. I think this is about a 10-minute video. Thank you, and Jesus is Lord. Call in his name. He'll answer. He'll manifest himself to you. He's knocking at the door. That's all I gotta say. So I'm realizing as this year goes on that there's like a line that I have to draw eventually. I went out of town, worked with my dad and his boss at a mall, and had to wear a mask here and there. And I flew home, had to wear a mask on the plane. Now I could fight it and all this. But there's a line that I have to draw for myself soon. And I know what the result's going to be. Here, let's do a scenario. So, right now, I go to the gas station to put fuel in my truck. And I can go in and pay without wearing a mask, and nobody says anything. But that's not going to last. That's just not going to last. Not the way that this is going. So, at some point in time, since I actually don't even have a credit card, so I can't really pay at the pump. So what if they tell me you can't buy fuel unless you wear a mask? Well, if I really needed fuel, I'd probably have to put a mask on, wouldn't I? But you know that this thing that bothers me about wearing a mask the most, what bothers me the most about it, is all the times that I read in the scripture about people covering their faces with shame. There's a lot of verses that say that in the Bible. The book of Enoch talks about it. Here's Enoch chapter 62, starting in verse 5. And one portion of them shall look on the other, and they shall be terrified, and they shall be downcast of countenance, and pain shall seize them when they see that Son of Man sitting on the throne of his glory. And the kings and the mighty and all who possess the earth shall bless and glorify and extol him who rules over all, who was hidden. For from the beginning the Son of Man was hidden, and the Most High preserved him in the presence of his might, and revealed him to the elect. And the congregation of the elect and holy shall be sown, and all the elect shall stand before him on that day. And all the kings and the mighty and the exalted and those who rule the earth shall fall down before him on their faces, and worship and set their hope on that Son of Man, and petition him and supplicate for mercy at his hands. Alright guys, I gotta take a break in the middle of that video. I don't know what's wrong with my my streaming program. I'm gonna have to try to maybe get a different version or something, because it's been doing this for a long time and I've tried to find a solution. I can't. So you get me again, back live again. There's still almost 10 minutes of this video, but I think it's important because there is a line that now I'm not saying where that line is or what it is for any of us. I'm saying that I think there's gonna be decisions that we all end up maybe having to make before we feel like we're ready to make them. And I just got to remind you that Abraham did that, and it was counted to him as righteousness. Okay, some of these things that we have to decide, it's because we believe something why we have to make these decisions. Other people that might not have a belief about something, they can just do whatever. It doesn't matter. So there is that. Just remember that if there's a decision that your heart feels heavy about, make the right decision. I don't care if it hurts you on this earth in this life, just make the right decision, because you know what the right decision is. And some of those things I think are coming up and are already presented to us as questions of what we should do. So that's what I would add. But we'll try this video again here. All right. Nevertheless, that Lord of spirits will so press them that they shall hastily go forth from his presence, and their faces shall be filled with shame, and the darkness grow deeper on their faces. And he will deliver them to the angels for punishment, to execute vengeance on them, because they have oppressed his children and his elect. And they shall be a spectacle for the righteous and for his elect. They shall rejoice over them, because the wrath of the Lord of spirits resteth upon them, and his sword is drunk with their blood. And the righteous and elect shall be saved on that day, and they shall never thenceforward see the face of the sinners and the unrighteous. So, verses like that I can't do the mask. So there's a point in time here where something's gonna change in my life, where it might be hard to come across things that I need, possibly, but I really don't think that matters at all in the time that we're in. I know most people don't realize what time we're in, but I do. Psalm 83 verse 16 says, "Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord." Psalm 34 verse 5 says, "They looked unto him and were lightened, and their faces were not ashamed." Verse 6. It did it again, guys. That was a verse I didn't want it to do that on, so I'm rewinding. Let me try to do one setting change here, see if it might help. It really bothers me because you know how a video is when you're watching, or like me cutting in the middle of it kind of makes it really not the same. I don't know how to say it. Let's see. Audio preload, because that's just audio that's giving me the problem. It's not video. The video's playing fine. It's only the audio. Gotta learn about that. But I'm trying to move this setting here. We'll try this. Let's just see if it works better. Sorry, guys. Roderick, thanks for the link. I appreciate that, brother. Psalm 83 verse 16 says, "Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord." Psalm 34 verse 5 says, "They looked unto him and were lightened, and their faces were not ashamed." Verse 6. That's just awesome. Those two verses are just awesome. The one is saying, "Cover their faces with shame so that they seek your name, O Lord." And then the next one, it almost says the opposite side of that. And those are both in Psalm. I'm going to play them again. Sorry, guys. I didn't plan on doing this, but I just got it. This is awesome. Come across things that I need, possibly, but I really don't think that matters at all. I know most people don't realize what time we're in. Okay, here we go. But I do. Psalm 83 verse 16 says, "Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord." Psalm 34 verse 5 says, "They looked unto him and were lightened, and their faces were not ashamed." Verse 6. This poor man cried, and well, it looks like the adjustment I made didn't work very good, but that was probably because I was looking up another verse. Okay, that one that we just heard was, it was talking about light shining on them, and their faces weren't ashamed. Wow. This, okay, I don't know how I'm going to find it, but give me a moment. There's a verse when I was kind of studying some of the things that I'm learning tonight, sharing tonight, when I was going through some of that stuff, I was looking at the words shadow of death, and there was you guys know the verse is kind of like a popular verse. I can't remember, where is it? Oh, I looked up a lot of verses here. Hold on a minute. Wow. Hold on a minute. I'm still going up. This is all today too. Wow. Okay. I couldn't find it. Okay, search. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go search it again because I don't remember where I was. Where are we? I think here. Oh wait, I might be able to get it right here. Sorry, I'm just hoping to be able to just get it, but I can't. Okay, I'm gonna do a new search. I looked. It was the light shined on people in the darkness. They were living in darkness, and the light shined on them. I just wanted to go read that, so we'll have to find it. And remember, I can't type while I talk. It's kind of like I can't play guitar or piano or anything while I talk. It would sound awful. Or else my talking would sound like piano. Or, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, Shadow of Death, King James Version. And I don't remember even where it was. It was, I think it was like in Psalm 2, but maybe not. It was talking, I'm sure you guys know the verse. There's a people, and light shined on them out of the darkness. And the phrase shadow of death, I think, was also in the, in that. Okay, let's see it. To give light to them that sit in darkness in the shadow of death. The shadow of death is always connected with the word darkness, by the way. I learned that. Okay, Isaiah 9:2. We're gonna let me just read it. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. Just, that's amazing. Let me go back here and read. Okay, here we're gonna listen to this verse about the 5th time now. Let's see. But I do. Psalm 83 verse 16 says, fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Psalm 34 verse 5 says, they looked unto him and were lightened, and their faces were not ashamed. Okay, it says they looked unto him and were lightened. So that's like light shining upon them. And another, what that reminded me of, I say all you guys in the chat, I see you got Psalm 23. Thank you. That was another, excuse me, that was another verse in Revelation 18, verse 2, I think says something very similar that an angel does. Where is that here? Yeah. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. That's cool. You guys, we're living it. You know, that reminds me of another verse I'm going to look up really quick. I don't remember which verse, or let me think, what does it say? That many prophets, okay, there it is, long to see the things that you see, because guys, this is for you. If you see the truth, Luke 10:24 maybe. Yeah, let me just read a few verses here in Luke, chapter 10. Man, this is one of my favorite chapters in Luke too. Is chapter 10, and Luke 24 is awesome. I love Luke 24. Okay, let's see here. We got, okay. I'm just trying to get the context of where he was there. Verse 23. And he turned unto his disciples and said privately, blessed are the eyes which see the things that ye see. For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. That's right now. Jesus is saying that right now to his disciples. And if we continue in his word, we're his disciples indeed. That's what he said. That's awesome. Okay, back to the video. We'll try again. If it's just skippy again, you guys are, maybe I'll just stop it and then I'll get that link from Roderick again or whatever. But all right, here we go. Sorry, guys. Verse 6. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of his troubles. And it's just a lot of these things seem to be in the Bible. I don't know how specific, but there's a day coming, guys, a day of darkness coming, where the sun isn't going to give its light, and the moon won't give its light. Joel 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on top of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Therefore also now saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart, and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God. For he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent, and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto the Lord your God? Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly. Gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breasts. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. Let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their God? Then will the Lord be jealous for his land, and pity his people. Yea, the Lord will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied wherewith. And I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen, but I will remove you far off from the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savour shall come up, because he hath done great things. Fear not, O land, Be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring. For the tree beareth her fruit. The fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God. For he hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month. All the floors shall be full of wheat, and the fats shall overflow with wine and oil. And I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. And ye shall eat in plenty, and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, that hath dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterward, that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass, that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. So yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking about this a lot. It's gonna be getting worse, you know. I'm not even talking about a vaccine, you know, but that's probably coming too. So take your mask off, set an example for the people around you. When they look at you strange, just remember that you were called to do something else. You're called to see the truth. All right.